Right, welcome ladies and gents. The Flash star, Kersey Clemens, on James Gunn's rave review and response to Ezra Miller Troubles. To put it lightly, it's been hard watching that. So this is interesting for a few reasons. One, this is someone that we've barely heard about, actually, during this entire time. I think there was a slight controversy of whether she would come back or get recast. It was kind of all over the place, really. But yeah, so she had a brand new film out and there was a premiere for it. And of course, she was asked a lot about Ezra Miller and The Flash and James Gunn. And it kind of makes sense. And it's interesting nonetheless. This is 2 days old. I do apologise, ladies and gents. But I have been busy, mainly doing my Dead Space remake playthrough. So if you haven't seen it, I'll leave part 1 linked above. Please do go and check it out. People have been really liking it. Part 1's a little bit dark, but I corrected it on part 2. And part 3 is going to come out later today as well. So if you like those playthroughs, cheers. Side note, hit subscribe if you're new here. There's about 50% of the viewers that aren't subscribed, but you keep coming back. Hit that little subscribe button. Tells YouTube you like the content. Doesn't necessarily mean you get notified though, because it's YouTube, and YouTube's a bit weird at the moment, so it is what it is. But thanks so much. I do appreciate it. Anyway, Kersey Clemens. I think she plays Iris West, if I remember rightly. Is it Iris West? I think it's Iris, anyway. But let's take a look, shall we? Okay. So obviously there have been months of negative headlines. And what I find most interesting about this entire article is just the framing from The Hollywood Reporter. You know, after months of negative headlines and heated online debate about the release of Warner Bros. The Flash due to the title star Ezra Miller's issues, legal and otherwise, DC Studios co-head James Gunn did his best to silence critics with a mic drop moment during Monday's DC presentation. And he said, "I will say here that Flash is probably one of the greatest superhero movies ever made." I mean, look, I'm not going to believe that, not going to lie. And in terms of troubles, it's not really troubles that he's been in, is it? It's, he's literally been in court for throwing a chair at a woman's head. He's been arrested, he's been videoed. It's all up shit's creek. It's real bad. These are not good things. The Hollywood Reporter's sort of coverage of this is, it leaves less to be desired, that's for sure. So, bloody issues. He launched a chair at someone's head and then threatened to, bury someone and his wife after stealing their wallets. And the thing is, Kersey Clemens is obviously trying to run damage control here because her statement for this is, not that good, but we'll get to it, of course. In terms of James Gunn's comments about, The Flash being probably one of the greatest superheroes ever made, I disagree. I don't know. I've not seen it, but I've heard from my sources that it is good, but there are still issues with it nonetheless. And those are people that liked the film. So, and also one of the greatest superheroes ever made. Behave. I mean, it might be, but doubtful. Anyway, of course, it was high praise for the blockbuster director about a film that had previously been referred to as one of the great DC films coming up by Warner Bros. Discovery CEO David Zaslav. This is the thing, they have to put out these positive statements because if that's the only thing that's, roaming around the headlines, all the negativity, they need to counteract that with super, super positive stuff. Obviously. So, right, obviously she walked the red carpet for her new film, Somebody I Used to Know. That was a terrible song. The Flash star Kersey Clemens smiled when asked if she'd heard about Gunn's compliment. "I did," and he said very nice things, relayed the actress who has a lead role playing Iris West. So there you go, I was right. Of her experience on the much delayed film that is coming out June 16th. I'm still surprised it's coming out, but hey, we shall see. Clemens continued by adding, "I had a great time. I've known Ezra for years, and I loved working with Andy. Despite everything, we had a really great time filming, and we did make a really great movie. I hope that despite all the headlines, people really enjoy the movie, because what James said is true. I believe what he said, And I think it's absolutely correct. I mean, you're literally selling your own film and you're blowing smoke up your rear end. But okay. But of course, ladies and gents, what actually happened? You know, what was the statements made? Obviously, there's been loads of headlines, loads of controversy, misconduct, allegations, criminal investigations. This is all to do with Ezra Miller. Trespassing, grooming, loads and loads and loads of things, right? Loads of things that this dude's been going through. And it's not good, right? Like, it's not good by any stretch. You know, he obviously was like, oh, I'm going to go into support now, so cheers, thanks very much, bye-bye. And everyone's sort of silence on this has been quite deafening. So Safran touched on it and says, you know, Ezra is completely committed to their recovery. We are fully supportive of that journey right now. Basically said no decisions have been made whether he's going to keep the role moving forwards. However, Cozy Clemens was asked about this and said, look, it's been absolutely tough. And this is the nonsense. And this is nonsense. And what people forget is that a lot of people go through that. Yes, a lot of people have issues, but they don't launch chairs at women's head at parties because they were told to leave. They also don't choke slam women in Iceland. They also don't allegedly groom 12-year-olds, multiple 12-year-olds. Piss off. Like, for real? Come on now. But anyway, apparently, according to Kersey, this is just normal. What people forget is that a lot of people go through that, but they don't do it with the whole world watching. Although it comes with the territory. It's really unfair. And it's been hard watching that. It's been unfair that he's been outed as a groomer? Really? 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 Behave. Okay, but whatever. Anyway, Clemens seemed eager for fans to get to see the finished film. A trailer is expected to debut during the Super Bowl on February 12th. And while she's only seen a little bit of the film, she once again confirms that it looks great. Which is, yeah, like true. Like, it is going to have a trailer at the Super Bowl. We know that. That is all but confirmed. You know, and said, look, it was lovely working on the film. This is her current film anyway. But we don't really want to get into that too much. Look, this is absolute damage control. I'm really surprised that the Hollywood Reporter didn't push back on this either. You know, to sit there and say, well, you know, this is just absolutely tough. And, you know, it's what people forget. Loads of people go through this stuff. No, they don't. Funnily enough, no, they absolutely do not. No, they don't. Barely anyone does any of that stuff. Barely anyone. Look, people have mental health problems. Agreed, right? People don't do this. This is on a whole other level of nonsense. All right? Let's wind it back in. Let's get our feet firmly on the ground. Get some sanity back in the room. This is utter drivel. Shocker. Absolute shocker that it's trying to frame this as pretty normal stuff. But look, it's to be expected. And sitting there agreeing with James Gunn, well, look, we were going to get that anyway. It'll be intriguing to see what happens moving forwards, whether they bin her off, whether they bin Ezra Miller off. Loads of people are like, of course they're going to bin Ezra Miller off. I disagree. Like, I don't think it's a done deal just yet. I think there is still the possibility that he will be moving around the DCU. But anyway, let me know what you guys think about this. Always keen to hear your thoughts. Like I said, please do check out the Dead Space 2, Dead Space remake, not Dead Space 2 remake. I'm calling it Dead Space 2 because it's the same game, but the second version of it. Anyway, thank you so much. Support the channel via Patreon, memberships. All benefits to them are coming back very, very soon. Cheers. Take care. Ta-ta.